There's a good little weed patch in here that I'm fishing, and you know, I think one of the trickiest things sometimes when you're trying to fish a spot and stay parallel in the wind is just, especially when you got 2 or 3 people in the boat. Today it's not as big a deal because I'm alone, but man, I'll tell you, when I've got 2 or 3 people in the boat and I want to cast a spot off the side of the boat parallel to the shoreline and the wind's coming the wrong way, man, I'll tell you what, it gets flat out tricky. I mean, it's hard to make that work. But I want to talk to you a little bit about a trick that I've learned over the years that really makes it easy to do what I'm doing here. Number one, all I'm doing is I'm working my way along this shoreline, picking these little weed patches and pitching into them. And realistically, there's some here, there's some there, but I can't control where the wind's coming from. So it can get pretty difficult to park on that spot right when I find it. But there is a way to do it, and here's how I'm doing it. Number one is I'm just crawling along here with my Minn Kota Ulterra Trolling motor. And what I'm doing is just picking my way along, and I'm following a brake line that I'm looking at on my Lake Master chip. And as I'm moving, that map's kind of telling me what I want to see. But every now and then I'll see a spot, maybe a bump, a hump that I assume is going to have a weed. Then I can look in there with my polarized glasses, and I can usually see those clumps of weeds. Well, at that point, I want to park the boat, but the wind's just going to take me. If I just put my Talon down, the wind's just going to spin the boat out this way today. Well, I want to be able to pitch parallel off the side of the boat. So what I'm doing is I'm using my trolling motor and my Talon in conjunction to keep the boat parallel to the shoreline. And here's how I'm doing it. As soon as I see one of those spots that I want to fish, it's as simple as I'm putting my Talon down. Okay, so I hit that button, down goes the Talon, and now the back end's parked. Then what I'm doing is I'm using my controller and I'm slowing down the speed, and I'm putting my Ulterra into autopilot mode, and I'm using the legacy autopilot mode. So what's happening is it's just sending out a beam, it's catching a shoreline, okay? Now I'm running it really slow. I've got it down on 2 today in this wind. So what's happening is that's just putting enough pressure to hold the bow where I want it, and this Talon is down in the back, so it's got the back pinned. Now I'm parallel, and now I can sit and pitch that shoreline. And I mean, it just makes it really simple. Now here's the deal. When it's time to move, when I just want to move on to that next weed clump, it's as simple as I just hit that up button, up comes the Talon, and now with my Minn Kota trolling motor, I just keep working along that shoreline until I find that next weed clump, push that button, and here we go. I'm pinned again, and I'm fishing that exact spot that I want to be on. And I didn't have to go through a whole bunch of hassle moving around it, trying to get the right angle and spooking those fish. I'm actually out away from it a little bit, and I stay parallel to it. It's a great little trick that works really, really well. You know, Minn Kota talks about one boat. One boat, what one boat really means is everything you need is within this one boat. And I'm a big believer in that. I mean, between my Humminbird electronics, my Talon on the back, and my Minn Kota up on the bow, I'll tell you what, I can do about anything because all these units are talking to each other. This is just one of those neat little tricks that I can do because I've got it all right at my fingertips. It's truly one boat. Next time you're pitching a shoreline and that wind is wrong, use that Minn Kota Talon, use that trolling motor in conjunction to hold yourself in the right spot, and I guarantee you'll catch a few more fish.